got it. Sorry, I didn't prepare for this part. Oh, fuck. Did I just hang up with you?
No.
Okay, there you are.
But you said the bad word.
It's okay. You can just take this part out. It's not important.
Not for our Patreon donors, Brie.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's okay. I really don't care.
Oh, full waffle.
Waffles. Don't forget to mute your.
Yeah, I don't even know how to mute it on my computer.
Mute your your text messages?
I can put on Do Not Disturb.
Oh, does your text messages go to your computer too?
Yeah.
Little Miss Popular.
Yeah, one of your parents is out of quarantine.
Saturday?
They're out of quarantine now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so I think they're wanting to.
I know which one you were talking about. She messaged me, so she was
Okay.
thinking of us.
I haven't. Crud, how do I go back to you?
Come back to me. Come back to me. I don't know.
Son of a pup.
Oh.
There you are.
Hi.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
I'm almost there. Sorry.
You spin me right round, baby, right round.
I had this ready the other day, but I forgot.
That one's amazing. I love it.
Oh, man. How are you doing today?
I am doing. Ooh, what are you eating?
My homemade KFC chicken bowl.
Yum.
I haven't eaten dinner yet.
You're fine. I am doing good. I found out that Rick might be coming out of quarantine. No, not might be leaving the hospital in a couple days. So yeah. And then he has to do rehab for like 2 weeks or however longer. So
that's really great.
yeah.
Did you not hear all that?
No.
You're probably going to hear it whenever you're recording. I apologize.
What is it?
This just went off.
Oh.
So baby shark is in there somewhere. When you're trying to record a podcast, but you also have kids.
But you also have children.
That's awesome.
Shark,
So that means Alice can see him soon.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm really happy. How are you?
Sick?
She has a cold, but she's like getting over it. So
okay.
Yeah. But hopefully by the time she can go see him, she's like kind of done with it.
Yeah.
Definitely
his
can't
immune system is probably
shot. Yeah. So wherever we go, she'll have to wear a mask, which is good. But yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We will see.
That's good news, though. God, that's good news. Thank you, everybody, for your thoughts and prayers going out to Rick.
Good vibes, all of it.
Yes.
Thank you. Please. Thank you. And how is your baby girl?
She's good right now. I gave her Motrin and she's like talking and walking around. She's like the happiest I've seen her all day. And I laid her down though. She went to bed early.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart when they're like this. Like Charlotte's never even gotten this sick to the point to where she's just like slumped over and won't even lift her head off of you. Like the entire time at the doctor's office, we were there for like an hour and a half to 2 hours and she slept on me.
Oh, baby.
I know. It breaks my heart, baby. Yeah. And she lost a pound. Like she's only 18 pounds.
She's so tiny.
I know. We have her 6-month checkup next week. So
6 months?
Or year and 6 months. Sorry. That's right. She's 6 months. That makes sense. She shouldn't be
Wow.
that much.
She's
That's how much a 6-month-old is.
So huge for 6 months. Wow.
I'm pretty sure that's like an average size for a 6-month-old.
Yeah. She's a special one though. So she's a tiny little girl. Doesn't
Itty
help
bitty.
that yeah.
Hopefully tomorrow's better. Sorry.
By the way, this is our podcast. This is a podcast. What's with the neighbors?
I wish
That
I
is
could remember to introduce that at the very beginning.
I think it's fine. I think it's
okay.
fine.
It's our little intro. Yeah, this is What's with the Neighbors.
That's Brie.
Paranormal. That's Amy.
Yeah.
We're
neighbors that get together every week and chat about murder and spooky stuff and
maybe dabble in some neighborhood drama.
Little neighborhood drama. We are, did I say we're neighbors? We're literally neighbors.
Yeah, we're 4 doors down.
Yeah, but right now I'm in California, but
yeah, we're like 4 states down. 4, not even 4 states down. We're far apart.
Washington. That would have been so cool if we were
an ocean apart. Or Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
I mean, we're connected to Canada.
Yeah, we're a whole country apart. That's what it is. A whole country apart. So, yeah. And hey, you want to hear a neighborhood story while you finish that?
Yeah.
Do we have?
Yeah. No, we don't have any announcements.
Okay.
So Rick's doing really good, right? So that's great.
Yeah.
So I can ask you a question now.
Okay.
I'm going to be a little selfish for a second.
You're fine.
Can you bring me Chick-fil-A?
Yes.
I don't even care if it's hot. Just ask me what I want and me and Josh will put in order. I'll give you some money on Cash App. We want Chick-fil-A.
You've done so much for us. You don't need to send me money.
We're gonna do.
Oh my god. I was like thinking like in my head, all right, she's gonna be like, can we take a week off? I'm so stressed out. Or can you, I don't know, can you FaceTime me and walk me through TJ Maxx, like, or Hobby Lobby? I'm like thinking of
that'd be cool too.
Okay.
Target.
No, can you please just bring me Chick-fil-A?
Bring me some Chick-fil-A, please. By the way, guys, we're in Alaska. Oh yeah, we already said that. But we don't have Chick-fil-A in Alaska. And it's very, very sad and depressing. There are 2 states that don't have Chick-fil-A, and we are one of the 2. Maybe 3. There may be 3. There's 3. There's one in the lower 48, and there's Hawaii and Alaska. I can't remember the one in the lower 48, but they suck.
It's probably like North Dakota.
Probably. You guys need to jump on the chicken train. At least we have a good excuse. We can't have it fresh, so I get it.
Oh, is it fresh?
Yeah, chicken at Chick-fil-A is fresh.
Today I took Alice to Five Guys.
Oh, I love Five Guys. That is the best place to go to after being at the beach all day. Get some big old bag of greasy fries and a greasy cheeseburger. Ugh.
Rick and I would do that, but at Shake Shack.
Yeah. Shake Shack? Oh, I like Steak and Shake.
Oh, it's Steak and Shake. Steak and Shake.
Oh, okay.
We would do that at Steak and Shake. We would go to the beach all day, and then on our way home, we would hit Steak and Shake. But yeah, I'm not a fan of Five Guys because we have In-N-Out here, and I prefer In-N-Out. But so today I took Alice to Five Guys because she's like claiming that she was going to die if she did not have food right then and there.
Angry.
So yeah, so we went to Five Guys real quick, and I didn't order anything. I just ordered for her. It was a plain hamburger, like nothing on it except for ketchup and mustard, and a small fry. We sat there for 20 minutes, and I wanted to murder them.
How much was it?
Oh, it was stupid expensive. It was $13.
They're expensive.
Yeah. I was like, man, I should have just gone 2 blocks down and gotten McDonald's, girlfriend.
Yeah, right?
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I was like, no
I would not
way.
get it. I would not just get it just for my kids. If we're gonna eat Five Guys, we're all gonna eat Five Guys.
Well, I mean, I've only been there once, and I don't remember it because it was when we were in Georgia, and so I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, never again.
Do they have cookout there?
No, I don't know what that is.
It's
I've heard
depressing.
of cookout.
I think I've told you about it.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Let me tell you this story. You ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay. So this neighborhood story I got from I don't know, some random website. It's called Thought Catalog. I don't know. No, that's not what it's called. Yeah, no, it's called Thought Catalog. So back in the 70s or 80s, my aunt had a neighbor who was a longtime volunteer at the local blood bank. I doubt this would be allowed today, but back then she was allowed to take home.
Can you repeat that? She was a what?
Yeah. So I'm going to start over. Back in the 70s, my aunt had a neighbor who was a longtime volunteer at the local blood bank. I doubt this would be allowed today, but back then she was allowed to take home the old expired blood, which otherwise would have been thrown out.
She's a vampire.
She used it as fertilizer for her garden.
What? Iron?
You'd see her out on sunny days on her knees with a big sun hat and gloves, cheerfully working human blood into the soil around her roses. Her roses, you'll want to know, were magnificent, magnificent as were the rest of the flowers in her garden.
It's probably because it's high in iron.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure soil that's high in iron is really good for plants. Oh, that's so weird.
That was from Harry Bridges, and no.
Oh my gosh. That, by the way, I thought you were going to say Harry something else. I didn't know what you were going to say, but I was waiting for a prank name.
No. Nope.
I used to call my mom's work all the time by like names like that. Like, hi, this is Harry Balzac.
Or Ben Dover.
Yeah.
Ben Dover.
My mom would be like, I know it's you. Go do your homework.
You're such a brat.
Stop prank calling the animal shelter. This is Harry Bush.
Oh my gosh.
That is disturbing. That is like on true crime level, and she should not be allowed. What if she didn't work at a blood bank?
Okay. I don't like that. No, thank you.
No, you're good.
I will pass.
I'm good. So you want to hear really detailed, and I hope I got it right. This story was rough. I picked a really hard story this week.
I do want to hear it.
I'm excited about it. So I'm gonna tell you some things that happened during this story too. Well, really just two things. One, we had our second earthquake that I felt while I'm talking. It's a poltergeist story. And while I'm talking about walls shaking and banging and stuff like that, I hear my china cabinet start to rattle and the ground start to shake. And then my dog starts barking. Dakota starts barking. And I'm just like, dang it. This is a good story. I gotta continue it. And tonight, as I'm wrapping it up, I'm sure my child was just being dramatic. I hate when it involves my kids. But Charlotte's playing with some things, and she's right beside the wall playing with these little linkable toys or whatever. And I can see her in the corner of my eye, and she starts randomly crying. and holding her head. And she's like, it hit me. And I was like, what hit you, Natalie? And she's like, no, the wall.
Say it again, because you did that thing. She hit.
Charlotte was playing wall with her linkables, and I could see her just out of the corner of my eye. And all of a sudden she started crying and holding her head, and she said, it hit me. And I was like, what hit you, Natalie? And she's like, no. And I was like, what hit you? And I tried to get her to calm down, and finally got her to calm down. And I was like, okay, what's wrong? What hit you? And she's like, the wall. I don't know. She may have just been being dramatic, because Natalie's been holding her head all night and crying, and Natalie's got a headache, I think. So she may have just been dramatic and trying to get attention. But I know, I hate when she does stuff like that. Like, children, stop scaring me. This is not what I intended. This is not what I intended whenever I decided to have kids.
To creep you out all the time? Me either. I didn't intend to like have to parent when I had kids, which is kind of upsetting that you have to do that.
Yeah. But you know what the worst thing is whenever you parent and then your kid parents you back, or parents other kids back, and uses your sass towards other kids and tells them how to talk and how to do this and that. Because Charlotte's been doing that lately. I won't explain details, but that has been happening a lot.
I hate that for you. I'm sorry. Oh, did you see my Christmas tree behind me?
I do see it. I was wondering why it was right behind you. I keep on seeing the eye of your little owl thing flicker, and it freaks me out.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, because it's Christmas here in our trailer.
Merry Christmas. I mean, everybody's pretty much decorating for Christmas at this point, so we're going to, as soon as I'm done talking to you, we're gonna pull out decorations and decorate.
Well, let's get to it.
Yes.
So you can do that.
And I'm gonna try to wear a Christmas sweater every episode. We should do that.
Love that.
Ugly Christmas sweaters. We should go back to that place.
That's a good idea, because I don't have any Christmas.
I saw several there.
Yeah. I don't have any Christmas sweaters.
The uglier, the better. My mom goes out and buys a bunch of them the day after Christmas on like sale, like clearance, and sends them to me. So I have a bunch in a bag.
I love that.
I have my favorite one that has Mike Tyson on it. It's my favorite Christmas sweater.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, that's what it says. Merry Christmas. I was like, do you think this is okay to wear on the podcast? And Josh was like, why not? And I was like, okay, I don't care. I'll wear it.
Why not?
Everybody makes fun of Mike Tyson. I'm pretty sure Mike Tyson makes fun of himself. So
if he doesn't, he should.
He should just join in on it.
Join in on
All right. Would you like to hear about the Battersea poltergeist?
Yes.
You don't have a choice to, so it's the story I did.
It's creepy here. I'm all by myself. Alice isn't here tonight.
Where is she?
It's at her Puddles, her grandpa's house.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's
place yourself.
Yeah, but it's really windy. And it's creepy.
Oh, happy birthday, Leia.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Leia.
Announcements. There we go. I brought her some beer and some dip. Some spinach and artichoke dip.
Oh, I was like, she doesn't dip.
That's what I said. Spinach and artichoke dip. Because she loves dip. All right, Battersea poltergeist. Let's get to the point. Okay. Here it goes. I have to relive all of this. So, in the town of Battersea, London, sat a house at 63 Wycliffe Road. The street was an ordinary, poor suburban part of town. And here lived the Hitchings family. There was dad, father, Wally, who drove underground trains. The mother, Kitty, she worked as an office clerk. Their 15-year-old daughter, Shirley, who worked as a seamstress and was just beginning her life into adulthood. I mean, she was only 15, but I'm pretty sure she like graduated and stuff at that point. She was going to start like art school and stuff.
Yeah.
And their adopted son, John, who was a surveyor, and the grandmother, Ethel.
Can you tell me the year again?
1956.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I hadn't told you that yet.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. Why?
I thought you did. I just like to know the years, like how to
okay.
picture it in my head.
It's literally the next sentence.
Oh, sorry, I'm such a brat.
You're good. So it all began in January of 1956 when Shirley, the daughter, found and most of it focuses around her. She had found a fancy looking silver key lying on her pillow. It looked really out of place. And so she had brought it to her father and had asked if he knew where it came from. And he didn't know, but he didn't have time to mess with it at that minute. So he said to leave it on the mantle and he'll check it later.
Yeah.
So she left it on the mantle. And later that day, he had planned to try the key, but it wasn't on the mantle. So he called her, asked her where it was. She said she put it on the mantle, wasn't there. And so they were looking for it. She went back to her room and it was back on her pillow.
Ew.
So of course her father got the key and tried like every lock in the house, doors and drawers, everything, and he didn't find any kind of match. When he finished, not long after, the key disappeared, never to be seen ever again. It's just a mystery to this day. That night around 2 a.m., they began to hear loud banging and knocking throughout the house and a scratching noise within the furniture, like their headboards. The noises were so loud that the neighbors could hear it, thinking that they were hammering in the middle of the night. They complained. Excuse me, sorry. They actually started the noises were so loud that because they had just gotten out of World War II, that they feared that they were like being bombed or attacked.
Oh, yeah.
And Shirley was interviewed when she was older, like when she was in her 80s, and she had described it as if it was a sound coming from the bowels of the earth. So it was like way deep into the house, like, and it went on until daylight. And from then on, it was like a nightly occurrence and soon to be a daily thing too. After enduring this night after night, and being terrified, they were exhausted. They called the police. They didn't find anything, figure anything out. And they even had their son, who was a surveyor, who knew about houses, knew about noises, and he checked everywhere throughout the house, couldn't figure out what was causing this. But nothing could debunk it. Soon, things began to literally pick up, becoming more violent. Objects began to move around the house. Rooms began to become trashed. Things moved like furniture, pots and pans flying across the room. There was an instance where a clock moved or fell off of a shelf. And they would even occasionally see the dad Wally's slippers walk through the house. Yeah. And sometimes Shirley would even chase them like it was a game, because they were just kind of used to it.
Oh, they're just like, it's okay, it's our friend.
Yeah, we're playing with them. At one point, one of Shirley's gloves flew and hit her brother John in the face. That's what you get. He didn't believe her about any of this, so kind of what he got. The family became so used to their presence that they actually named it, and they named him Donald after the angry Donald Duck. John was convinced that Shirley was making all this up for attention. She was 15 years old. She was an only child. It wasn't very uncommon that she did things to get attention. She just was at the age.
Right. Yeah.
So also she was like the one to notice everything first too, which is really suspicious. Until one night, John and Wally heard Shirley screaming in her room. They immediately ran to her aid and they saw her bed sheets being pulled off of her. So trying to take it a step further, John wanted to prove that it wasn't her. And so in the midst of all of it, he told her, he said, lift up your hands. So she put them in the air and he saw that it was still happening. Then her back began to arch and she started to rise off the bed 6 feet into the air. She started to levitate.
They're like, oh, you don't believe me? Okay. Let me
let's just throw her up here.
Yeah. The heck?
With all this happening, word had gotten out by now. Reporters were constantly around, the press and everything, people asking them for interviews. And with all the information they were getting, they thought it was a hoax too. And they were kind of making fun of it. And they were saying that Shirley was making it up. And some people were saying that she had a ghost boyfriend because she was the center of all that.
Ghost
and so,
boyfriend.
Right. So a man named Harold Chibbett, or he liked to be called Chib, or Chibs. He was a paranormal investigator by night, and I think he was like a tax accountant by day, but he just did paranormal investigating because it was like his thing. But can't really make money off of it.
Little hobby.
Yeah. He came by to visit the family and he told them that he wanted to help them because he feared that it was a poltergeist and that he knew about them and knew that like they had already gone through like phase 1 and phase 2 and he knew that it was going to get worse. And he even said he would do it for free because he has nothing else to do. Although he has a wife and he slept there. He slept at their house every night in their kitchen on their floor. And he had a wife at home. And she must have been like the most patient wife ever because she just let him do it for the entirety of this whole thing happening. And it happens for like 10 years. So
what?
Maybe 9. I can't remember.
That's bananas.
I know. So they began communicating with Donald, first asking his permission to actually call him this because they didn't want to make him angry. They didn't know if that was making him angry that they were calling him Donald.
Right.
And he liked the name. So
he's like,
they continued to call him that. Yeah, I like it. And they would often communicate through knocks, 1 for no and 2 for yes. Eventually they'd begin to get messages from Donald on the walls and even paper, like hundreds of them. But that's later. So Ethel, the grandmother, who was sure Donald was the devil, feared that Shirley was possessed, and she had someone come bless the house and even like spray holy water in corners and stuff like that. And then she had the person come up and throw holy water on Shirley. Yeah, she pissed her off.
I'm sure.
That night, Donald was extremely active and destructive. He ended up throwing Ethel's crucifix, which was really large. Shirley said it was like he kicked it across the room. And
so he didn't like that.
No. He didn't like people messing with Shirley. Also, he had torn curtains, like someone had cut across it with a knife.
What?
And just like trashed stuff. So he was not happy about that. So at this point in all of it, no one really left the house due to the press being around and just being too exhausted to work. I mean, the dad drove trains for a living and he couldn't drive a train when he was falling asleep. So the dad himself sought help from someone at work, a man named Harry Hank. Harry proclaimed to be a spiritual medium and wanted to perform an exorcism on Shirley to rid her of Donald. So this guy, excuse me. So this guy did like the way they described it, because I listened to, it's like an 8 episode. This is why it took me so long, because the most information I got was this BBC podcast that I got, or that I found. And it
Uh-huh.
was like 8 or 9 episodes long.
Oh,
Um,
jeez.
yeah, it was really good, but it was really, really long. But from what I got from it is that this guy would almost do it as like a show for people to like, um, he would have a crowd or an audience almost and be like, oh, I hear someone talking to me. They're very old and they passed away with some kind of upper respiratory disease. Like, that's a pretty vague, like, that's a
Yeah.
lot of people. Oh, they smoked. Oh, their name was so and so. Oh, not that. What about this? What about this? And then they'd find someone in the crowd and be like, oh, that's my dad. Like 3 people would say it. So this guy, Chibs didn't like him. He felt like he was playing on people and
Yeah.
not really legit. But he wanted to do this anyway. And he had like a room. He had everybody in a dark room and they were all in a circle, like a seance circle, and they all held hands and they began the exorcism. And they were just trying to call out Donald, and have him kind of go through Harry. But in the middle of it, the police came. Word must have gotten out through press. The police came and said that they were summoning the devil and black magic was going on. And so they ended it.
I'm
Went
sorry.
to
I
the,
think that's.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
he wasn't he wasn't a priest or anything. So he doesn't really have a right doing an exorcism anyway, but
Oh, yeah.
that's like a priest thing. Um, but it went to like, it got like into the papers and even like Parliament, um, had like, it went through Parliament and everything, like everybody heard about it.
Wow.
So a lot of news was going on about this. Um, and obviously it didn't work.
Yeah.
Not long after that, at the home, they began to experience spontaneous fires. One was like a tea towel that got thrown onto a burner at the house while I believe everybody was sleeping.
Oh my
And
gosh.
the second one, I'm not sure where it was, but the dad, Wally, got hurt and burned. So he had to go to the hospital. And at the hospital, they had, they were going to let him go, but they had said that in his burn, he had had like 3 scratch marks. Yeah, like 3 gouged scratch marks. Yeah. Um, yeah, fun times. Yay.
Yay. This is so much fun for us.
It's not fun for Shirley, especially though. So
Poor
throughout
Shirley.
this, poor Shirley had no life. She was 15. She wanted
It
friends.
sucks.
She wanted to go out, but she was in the papers and everybody was terrified to be friends with her. So she lost a lot of her friends. No one would hire her because apparently, I mean, I'm sure because they read in the papers, but also apparently Donald followed her to work. At one point, some shears got stolen that she didn't steal. And she was blamed for it. Um, just just a shitty
Donald,
life
dude.
at that point. And she'd said it was like living in a nightmare and she hated him. She said there was before Donald and after Donald in my life. And just in that point, it was just, there was nothing.
That sucks.
It's depressing.
Yeah.
Chibs began to develop a better way to communicate with Donald, better than the one that he had had before. He created like a cardboard alphabet, full of all the letters, and he would like slow, kind of like a Ouija board
I was
in
just
my
gonna
head.
say that.
Yeah, he would like slowly point to the letters, and Donald would knock whenever he would hit a letter, and they would spell it out. And they started saying things like things about Donald. Why do I keep on losing my spot? I'm not to that spot yet. That's why.
Oh.
So yeah, they started developing that way to talk with Donald, and they started asking him questions about his life and about what he was doing and stuff. And one day, Shirley's mother even found like a message written on one of the bedroom walls. It said, you can see it online too. It says "Viva la France." And
What a
they
weird thing
also
to
began
say.
getting, this is when they started getting like several messages from him, like letters, like hundreds of them, and spelling out. Why do I keep on
Spelling.
losing my spot? I'm so sorry.
You're okay.
I keep on losing my spot. Okay. They began getting several letters from Donald, hundreds of them. One of them even said, "Surely I come." So that was another one that's you could find online, and it's
No,
like
I don't like
clearly
that.
spelled out. Yeah, he wanted Shirley. He loved Shirley. They
Why?
began to get information on Donald, like how he was from France and was the lost
Repeat that
Prince
part.
Louis the 17th. Yep.
Repeat that where he's from.
Yep. Donald, they began to get information on Donald, like how he was from France and he was the lost Prince Louis the 17th. Um, it's hazy. But the family actually suspects that Donald could have been making this up from TV shows that would have been on because they started reading like things about TV shows that were on or actors. And he really seemed to like the TV shows that they were watching and the actors. And he started like sending messages about actors in the shows and saying, get a picture of this actor. I want it. And it like demanding things. It was really weird.
That is weird.
So they don't know if that part was true about everything that he was telling them. With him being around for so long, they started to kind of think of Donald as one of the family, kind of like a Stockholm syndrome almost. They called it a Stockholm ghost or ghost Stockholm syndrome in the show because he was just there for so long. And like if they didn't hear knocks around the house, they'd be like, I wonder where Donald is or what's Donald up to today.
Yeah.
So he
That
was one of
sucks.
the family, but they didn't like him. So by 1964, Shirley had finally moved out and gotten a boyfriend. But even though her and her family lived apart, because they still lived in the old house, they would randomly get messages from Donald telling what each of the family members were doing. Like her parents would get messages about what her and her boyfriend were doing. She said it was
Ew.
like he was snitching on her. Yeah, isn't
Ew,
that
I'm looking
weird?
at
Like, ew,
photos right
he's
now.
watching you. Oh, you're looking at, oh yeah. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
And in 1965, Wally and Kitty finally moved out. They saved up enough money to get a place. They're out of there. Good riddance, Donald.
Oh my
Although
gosh.
he's obviously was still watching Charlie. And with Donald still being active in the actual house itself, Chibs would go and visit him. He was just kind of forever obsessed with the case. But
Yeah. Rightfully
it
so, too.
it finally stopped around this time, around 1965. And Donald had left a note saying, "My work is done." And then that's it. They
What?
don't know what it meant. They don't know anything. And he just stopped. But yeah, that is the story on the poltergeist
That's
fantasy
it?
poltergeist. Yeah, I have some other little things. I didn't know where to put them because it was kind of like up and down of where I was getting information between like sites. But some other things that had happened that I thought was pretty cool was Wally and Kitty had at one point found their bed covered in alcohol and rat poison.
Like he
Yeah.
was trying to kill them?
Well, or Donald was just a dick. The grandmother Ethel was pushed down the stairs at one point.
Oh
Um,
no.
the hundreds of messages that were written to the family making demands, telling Shirley how to dress, saying he wants pictures of actors, wants them to pull out money for something, just random things. Another thing was they heard a girl's voice saying she was Sarah. and Sarah was the name of their Ethel's mother. And I guess she had recognized the voice, and she left and died not long after.
What the heck?
Yeah, but that's that. Poltergeist. Oh, poltergeist means angry toddler in German, apparently.
So fitting.
It is. There's that little tidbit in there.
That's just weird that
He just left. Yeah, I know. It's like there's a lot more to it. I gave like a little bit of it. The documentary thing that I listened to was really, really good. Like it freaked me out. But I want to be able to watch it because there's a show about it. It's a whole series or a whole
Well, I mean,
show
you
or
said it was
whatever.
like 8 episodes long, the podcast
Yeah,
that you
for the
listened to.
podcast was, yeah.
So it's just like a tiny little tidbit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I tried to wrap it up as much as I could, just between the fact that I didn't want to be 8 pages long, and also my children are super needy this week, so I had to like kind of condense
totally.
it. But I was so excited when I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a poltergeist, and I saw Infield, and I'm like, I don't want to do Infield yet because that's the second Conjuring movie. I don't want to do Infield yet. So this one actually happened 10 years before Infield happened, and then Infield happened, and that's in the same area.
Yeah. So creepy, dude.
Yeah, I
don't like
it. I had fun with that one.
I'm glad you had fun with it. I don't like it though.
Yeah, yeah.
It's weird to me how like connected that it was to Shirley.
Yeah, I know. It's like he knew her. I mean, he did in a way.
Makes me wonder if like she reminded him of somebody, like his like someone he was in love with or something, and like she looked like him, or like she looked like that person or something. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. But he was, well, Chibs had said that it wasn't uncommon for a poltergeist to be like centered around like a teenage girl. And I'm wondering if it's because like they're more vulnerable, and
could be.
They get, like, he said that Donald would work off of Shirley because she was like charging him in a way, like she was his battery, and she would just get worked up and scared, and she would just give him energy. So
I don't like it.
I don't know. Go scare boys, ghosts. Gosh.
Yeah, what the heck?
Man.
They're not scared of anything.
Yeah, right?
Boys.
Whatever. Boys.
Do you want to hear a murder story?
1 second. Okay. Yes, I do. Hold 1 second.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go pee while you're listening.
Okay, cool. I'm covering you. Thank you. You're the best. Love you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was my husband. He just didn't want to be seen. The creepy Christmas tree moving.
That's a YouTube channel.
What? Oh. So I guess I can't say my secret word today because somebody's listening to me. Somewhere I'm going to drop it, and you're not even going to know. Why is your Christmas tree moving and you're not moving there?
Because the trailer moves.
Oh, you're in a trailer. That's right. You're trailer trash today.
I know, dude. Fancy.
You're a happy camper.
You're a happy camper. Ooh. Yeah, because it's like on stilts or whatever. I don't know.
I know. I had a trailer. I lived in a trailer once.
The back or the front and the back is like leveled, but the middle one is like there's a wall, like a retaining wall right next to it. So my dad couldn't put it down. So if like I walk, sometimes the whole it shakes a little. It's not too bad, but it shakes. Like you wouldn't notice it if
something like that.
Yeah, you wouldn't notice if you were just like sitting here with me, but because the tree is like so fragile,
yeah,
you can see it. Yeah. So it's not terrible, but it does the job, and it's nice to have privacy. So yeah, I'm surprised.
I'm so glad I'm done telling you that story.
I'm surprised I'm surprised your spouse didn't want to be seen.
I say his name all the time.
Oh, that's right. He has a podcast or a YouTube channel.
We're not going to say the name of it.
He's awesome. I like him. Rick asked about you guys today.
Oh.
Yeah, he was like,
"Hi, Rick."
He's like, "How are they doing? Are they okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, bud, they're okay." And
we're good.
the week that he was sick, before we came down, before he went into the hospital, I had texted him something, and I was like, "So and so is being a jerk to me," and he's like, so today he was like, what did so and so do? And I was like, he's like, "Did you figure that out?" And I was like, "Yeah, that was like a long time ago." He's like, "That was yesterday." And I was like, "Oh, no."
Yeah,
That was like
I keep on wondering that. I keep on wondering that because he's been sick for so long. Like time is like.
Yeah, he was out for almost 3 weeks, right? Yeah, almost 3 weeks. Yesterday, he's been in the hospital. Since yesterday, he's been in the hospital for a whole month.
Jeez.
So, and then he was intubated on the 8th, and he came out of intubation 4 days ago.
Yeah.
So it's, anyways. So it just, I'll tell you more about it yet later. But
has he been stressing out about you paying bills?
Oh yeah, he talked about that. He was like, AT&T called me when you switched. I guess you switched us over, and I was like, nope. Saw Verizon. Well, I guess I could just take this part out, but I was like a month ago, I texted him about Travis and how Travis was like being a jerk about taking Alice to school.
I figured.
Yeah, and he was like, why how's Travis and that whole situation? I was like, oh babe.
It's past.
It's long gone. That was a month ago.
I didn't realize he was being a jerk to you about that.
Like I asked him that week that I asked him to take Alice that they didn't have buses. I was like, "Can you take Alice?" And he never texted me back because Leia asked me if I could, or I was talking to Leia and she's like, "Well, just ask Travis." And I was like, "Okay." So I text Travis, and he was like, he asked me something about like her coming down at the house, and I was like, "Yeah, no big deal." And he never texted me back. And so then that next morning I was like, "Is it cool if Alice comes?" Just double checking, and he never responded. It really irritated, which was fine because it ended up being like, why did she end up not going to school? I can't remember. Oh, because like Rick was sick, and so like it was all like she was feeding off of my emotions. So
yeah,
it ended up being fine, but it was like, what the heck? Like, whatever. Anyways.
I need you right now. I need people right now. I need help. Don't be a dick. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
You can cut this out.
Yeah, obviously. Not that Leia listens to our podcast.
Right?
I'll
They're
probably
having a
take
bonfire right
that
now.
out of, huh?
They're having a bonfire right now.
Oh, for Leia's birthday?
Yeah, I'm not going.
Why?
It's
because you guys are sick.
because my kid is sick and I don't know if she's gonna need me. Like, oh, by the way, if Josh comes and interrupts me, I'm going upstairs to her because I'm the only one that she wants.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Because it's snowing and it's 22 degrees out, and I don't want to be in a bonfire when it's freaking cold as shit out.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I just thought about something. Our truck isn't plugged in.
Oh, I meant to ask you that. Do you want me to go over there and plug it in or start it at any point?
Yeah, can you go plug it in sometime tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Do you have the plug outside or is it in the garage?
It's probably in the garage next to the garage door to the house. Like,
Is it safe? Is it safe to be like continue to be plugged in?
Yeah, to say plugged in. I just realized that it's my dad mentioned it a couple days ago and I forgot.
I keep on meaning because every time I go over there, I'm like, I asked Josh and he's like, no, it's fine because it's been like 40s and 30s. It's been warm.
Oh, that's nice.
But we're gonna
when
get
it
into
dips,
single digits soon.
Yeah.
Like in a couple days.
You'll have to probably do the extension, plug it in. I don't know. Talk to Josh about it and he'll do it.
Yeah.
He'll know.
He can probably come over there and just do it for me.
Yeah. You'll probably have to like plug it in and then start it and move it. Because it's kind of like off.
Yeah. I'll have him do that.
Yeah, it might not be long enough, the extension cord. So you might have to, I don't know, just tell him to
I'll call you if you need help.
All right. Anyways, let's start this story. I have a really awful story to tell you. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
I already had to endure one.
This one,
I had to endure a terrible story this week already. What felt like 2 times.
I'm sorry, but this one, like, I picked it and then, like, you know how you kind of like read the gist of it and then kind of pick it, or that's what I do anyways.
And then you just get into it and you're like, well, I'm this far, so I have to continue it.
Yeah. I didn't realize how terrible it was.
Can I make a request?
Yeah.
I want to hear a cult story at some point.
I love cult stories.
I do too.
It's just they're
not very common and it's hard to find information on them probably.
No, it's not that. It's just I listened to a podcast that's all about cults, but they're so in the depth. So I haven't I need to do it. I love cult stories. Those are my favorite ones. So I actually know exactly which one.
Hey, this is episode 9. Maybe we can do that for 10.
Ooh.
I'll have to pick a good one for 10.
You have a gift coming to you for episode 10 that I want you to open on the podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, you're gonna have a gift coming to you now for episode 10.
I should have told you. Dang it!
Oh my god, we're recording that this weekend. Holy ravioli.
Weekend,
yeah. Dude, we made it to 10. I'm so sorry. This is such a long tangent. Just cut all of it out. All right, let's hear about this terrible. So this story
sucks. I'm so sorry. And when I was researching, I was like really upset that I picked this one, but I was in it. I was in the thick of it. Whatever. Another thing is, I want to just because I'm a huge advocate for child sexual assault. Yeah. So if you know anyone, or if you are being abused by anyone or sexually assaulted by anyone, whether it was a child or not, please reach out to your local agencies. You can also check out the website RAINN, RAINN.org, and they can help you find local agencies if you cannot. And it's a super safe website. You can click a button and the whole website will just like disappear. If you're trying to hide information,
even if you just suspect it.
Yep. If you suspect it, please report it. There's nothing worse than having a child have to go through sexual assault. I mean, a child or an adult, there's nothing worse. So please, please, please reach out to someone. If you see something, say something. Absolutely, no matter if it's bad, like if it ends up not being something, it's better to be safe than sorry. So
Yep. That's right. You could save someone's life.
absolutely. So that being said, late in the day on December, what am I saying? Late in the day on May 29th, 1984, Juanita Wheat was heading home with her new friend that she met about a month earlier and her new 9-year-old daughter from she met earlier and her 9-year-old daughter from a full day at the local carnival. Robert, her new friend, said that he had a belated Mother's Day gift for Juanita and asked if her daughter, Vernita, could help her or help him carry it back from his house. So he's like, can we go pick up this birthday gift from my house and bring it back to her? And Juanita, the mom, was like, I don't know, like she was super unsure. She does, barely knew him, but with a lot of pleading, she's like, fine, go ahead. Because Robert's like, well, it should only take an hour. It's not that big of a deal. And, I'm just a couple blocks away. But unfortunately, like hours had passed and it finally like past midnight and she was like, where the heck are they? So she wrote a note to her daughter just in case she comes home, because she didn't want to leave the house without just in case she came home. So she left a note and she went to the address that Robert said that he lived at, and it unfortunately was abandoned. So Juanita went to her friend Reeves' house, who contacted the police. And Juanita told the police that she met Robert while he was riding through the neighborhood on his bike, and he seemed to like know the area and seemed to fit in. So, she just befriended him. The police couldn't find Robert Knight, which is the name that he gave her, in the DMV records, but with a photo lineup of like recent arrests or whatever, and the description that she gave, she was able to identify a man named Alton Coleman. So he gave her a fake name.
Gotcha.
So they brought in the FBI.
What a weird name. What a strange name.
Alton Coleman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they brought in the FBI and because a child was involved. And the FBI went to Alton's grandma's house, which was the last address that he had on record. And that was in Joaquin, Illinois. They met a young lady there named Deborah Brown, and she claimed to be Alton's girlfriend. She was like, yeah, I live at this house. I take care of Alton's blind grandmother. And she said that Alton had been out all night, but came home around 8 a.m. that morning. He came home by himself, but he had to get ready for a court hearing because he was being charged for rape rape of a 14-year-old girl at knife point.
Oh, great.
So, yeah. So Deborah also told police that Alton told her that morning that he had done something bad that night, but he didn't go into details. And she's just like, okay, cool. Like, no big deal. Like, you did something bad. I'm sure it's
Brush it off.
Deal.
It's fine.
But let's not press him for questions. I don't know.
You've been accused of rape, so it's probably not a big deal.
Yeah, she probably like I was at first very upset. I'm like, why wouldn't she ask him? But if you're staying with someone after raping a child,
yeah,
you probably don't have the greatest conscience. I don't know. Anyone that stays with anyone after molesting a child, I don't know, probably is trash. So,
Yeah.
anyways, they went looking for Alton and worked with the Kenosha local police department to find him. And they're like, oh, yeah, because Kenosha was like a neighboring town. Kenosha's police was like, we know this guy. He is a terrible, terrible person with a terrifying past. He has a long rap sheet of rape, molestation, and assault. So super cool that he's still out on the streets. The investigators split up, interviewed, and
But
started.
typical. Sorry.
Yeah, dude, for real. Investigators split up. They started interviewing cab drivers because he wasn't allowed to drive. So they were like talking to cab drivers because that's what he was known for, is taking cab just about everywhere. And corner stores that he would visit and whatnot. And they also offered a $5,000 reward for any leads on Alton. 2 days later, a cab driver called to report that he was scheduled to pick up Alton. So a police officer went down to, see where he's going to get dropped off. And the cab driver ended up dropping him off at Alton's sister's house. But Alton saw the police officer. And so he took off.
Booked it.
Yeah, he booked it. And after an 8 hours of looking for him, they decided that he was no longer in the area. And so things kind of like quieted down, but then they finally got a lead from another cab driver who said he recalled picking up Alton and a little girl the night of the disappearance.
Oh, damn it.
Yep. And he said that he dropped them off at a scrapyard. He obviously didn't think that the little girl had been kidnapped because they were holding hands. So the investigators went down to the scrapyard and talked to the night manager, who said that he remembered seeing Alton and the little girl. And unfortunately, that was the last time that Bernita was seen alive. The investigation was kind of put at a halt at that point. They didn't get any new leads until about 3 weeks later.
That poor mom.
I know, dude. They received a call from a man who was searching an abandoned building for scrap metal to sell. He said on the second floor of the building, he found a small child dead on the floor, wrapped in a man's corduroy jacket under a blanket. And her hands and feet, I know, her hands and feet were bound with a cable, and her body was decomposed so bad that they couldn't identify her immediately. I'm so sorry.
So sad.
I know. So something super smart that the investigators did, to get prints from the murderer, they actually took off the whole door from the room that she was found in, instead of just like individually trying to get prints from the door.
Right.
And it was in their favor. They were able to match prints to Alton.
Good.
But yeah, unfortunately, the victim was identified as Bernita.
Right.
Then while watching a news broadcast, the investigators found out that there was another murder of a little girl in Indiana. But there was 2 murderers, and the first murderer was the description was Alton. So they're like, we know it's him. But the second one was a female, a black female. And they're like, when was the last time we talked to Deborah Brown, his girlfriend? So they went to go check on her, and lo and behold, she was missing. She was gone. Not at the house. So on June 16th, a local police of Gary, Indiana, was was called to the hospital to talk to a little girl named Mary James. Mary was in the hospital recovering because her and her friend Janice Clay were walking to the corner store. She told them that a man and a woman rode up on bikes and told the girls that they had really cool clothes to show them, but in order to get them, they would have to go to the woods. So they followed them to the
What?
woods. I know. And that is where they were beaten and molested and left for dead.
But why would you do that?
I don't know.
You don't trust someone to go into the woods.
Never go into the woods.
You just
Nope.
don't go places with other people.
No.
Oh, no, babies.
So, Mary managed to crawl to the road where she was found and only minutes from dying, but luckily she was found. So
She's
she was
alive?
able, yeah. So she
You go,
gave
Mary.
them. She was able to identify Alton and give a description of the other suspect, which matched Deborah's description. So the FBI released a massive campaign ad about Alton and his girlfriend, hoping someone would recognize them and turn them in, which it did. On July 8th in Ohio. A woman named Rose Wiggins called the local police to report that her grown daughter was missing. She had gone over to her house and she, just to talk to her and check on her. And her two grandsons were only home. One was an 8-year-old boy and the other one was 3. But unfortunately, her grandson was like way too scared to let her in. He was like freaking out, but she's like, let me in. And he's like, no. So with some convincing with the FBI, he finally let everyone in. The investigators started questioning the 8-year-old. His name was James. He told them that a man and a woman were at their house and he was able to identify them as Alton and Deborah. During their search of the house, the detectives found blood all over the kitchen and like leading down into the basement. That is where, in the basement, is where they found his mother, Virginia, and her daughter, Kimberly Black. Unfortunately, they were dead. James
Hold on.
explained to.
Can
Yep.
you repeat like after they were dead?
That's
Unfortunately they were dead. You've been glitching out a lot, but it's not been really bad. It's just been like, but that part was
okay. During the search of the house, the detectives found blood all over the kitchen and leading into the basement, and that is where they found the mother, Virginia, and her daughter, Kimberly Black, dead. James explained to the police that Alton and Deborah showed up at their yard and was talking to them, and they were super friendly, and Virginia invited them over for dinner. James told the police that he saw Alton slip a knife into his pocket, and after dinner, they were all watching TV while Kimberly, his sister, and Virginia, his mom, were washing dishes. James recalled seeing Alton on the TV. And that's when Alton like immediately turned it off and he was like, it's time for bed. So him and his younger brother went up to bed. And that is probably when the two women were murdered. So something that's not very common, but it does happen. The FBI's 10 most wanted list added an 11th slot for Alton and his girlfriend, which got a huge, it was a big deal because it doesn't happen very often. So they got a lot of
press or
attention for that. Yeah.
Right.
And that's when tips started pouring in. And on July 13th, a woman named Michelle Stone called 911 and she said that a couple rode by her house on their bikes and told Michelle's dad and mom that they saw his camper, which was in the driveway that for sale, that they were interested in it. And Michelle was like on her way out to go to work, and she passed them two talking about it on the porch. She came home from work later. Her dad's truck was missing, but the two bikes from the potential buyers were still there. So she's like, that's weird, but okay. So she went inside and found the house that completely ransacked, like furniture turned over, things broken. It was awful. Then she heard her dad faintly call out to her and found her parents laying side by side in the basement, and her dad was barely alive, but her mom had passed away.
Repeat that. Her what? Dad was buried alive.
She found her parents laying side by side in the basement, but her dad was barely alive, but her mom had passed away.
Oh.
Yeah. The description Michelle gave of the possible camper buyers matched Alton and Deborah. And during forensics, it was determined that Alton had used a crowbar in the basement to kill the couple, and they fled the scene. 2 days later, a farmer found the truck abandoned on his property in Kentucky, over 500 miles from where it was stolen in Cincinnati. So the detectives knew that they were going to need another vehicle, so they upped the patrol in the area. And as predicted, a college professor was assaulted in the hotel parking lot, and his vehicle and cash were stolen. And he identified the couple with a photo lineup as Alton and Deborah. So an APB was issued for the vehicle, but unfortunately it was found abandoned. The investigators suspected that Alton was going to eventually work his way back home to Illinois. So all of the stolen vehicles and abuse and assaults, everything was like on high alert. They're like, any information about a stolen vehicle or assault, I don't care if it's domestic or not, like, let us know. We need to hear it all for the surrounding areas. And so in Dayton, Ohio, an elderly couple reported their vehicle stolen and assaulted. A reverend named Reverend Gay had been severely beaten after a couple had met weeks prior, broke into their home. And the description of the couples was Alton and Deborah. A day and a half after the attack on the couple in Ohio, a station wagon was discovered near the car wash in Indiana, which belonged to Mr. Gay. And a body was discovered along I-65 by road crew. And unfortunately, it was a body of an elderly man from Indiana that was reported missing on his 77th birthday. And that wasn't, I know. And it wasn't
birthday. Sorry.
Kind of sucks to die on your birthday.
Right. That's so weird. You're born and you die on your birthday.
That is weird. I didn't think about that.
Inception. It's not like Inception, but
R.I.P. to the missing man on his 77th birthday. A few days later, the couple were found, Deborah and Alton. They were found hanging out in a public park by a citizen.
I thought you were going to say they were hanging.
Oh, that would have been great.
Bummer.
They weren't hanging.
They were hanging with an I-N, not hanging. Like
the driver of the people that, like, the citizens that found them, the driver was waiting in the car running while the girlfriend ran to the public phone to call the police, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, they're here, right here in this in this park. So Alton and his girlfriend didn't give up much of a fight during their arrest, and they obviously were like, murders? What murders? We didn't kill anyone,
right?
They
you busted. You made the list.
You made the FBI's most wanted list. They added an extra slot for you.
Yeah.
Together, collectively, they had taken 7 lives, unfortunately. Jeez. Yeah. And Alton was sentenced to life in prison, but he ultimately got sentenced to lethal injection 4 times, actually, and was executed on April 26th, 2002.
Whoa, that's a jeez. It
Yeah.
kills me how long that
Yep.
takes.
It's because they have to I think it's because they have to go through all of their allotted parole. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Didn't
I don't know
Bundy's
what it
take like
takes.
20 years?
Yeah, it took a long time for him too. Yeah.
Yeah, because he kept on saying he had more bodies, but he was just
Yeah.
lying.
Yep. And Deborah was originally sentenced to lethal injection, but it was overturned and is currently serving 140 years in prison without the possibility of parole.
Have fun.
Yep. And that is the awful story of Deborah and Alton.
You know, I hate those stories, especially ones that involve kids. But
Yeah.
I like at the end when they get caught and get in trouble.
Oh, totally. Me too. Anyone
Except
that
for
is going
Casey Anthony, who's a stupid biscuit.
still salty about that one.
Still
sure.
salty.
It makes me very angry how many times someone can hurt a child and get away with it. So it is very satisfying to hear the ones that end up getting punished. But for me, I think lethal, like if they sat in prison for years and years and then got lethal injection, it's more satisfying because they had to pay their price. But for me, I think death is an easy way out of your punishment. So if they had to sit there for years, like 20 years and then get lethal injection, I'm like, great. But if they got it like just a couple years after, it's not satisfying to me because it's such an easy way out.
Well, from what I've heard, Josh used to know someone who worked in the prison. And like anytime like a new person was coming in, like there would be people who would know exactly what they did on the inside, and they would have people give them information. And people like that, like child molesters, did not have a good time in prison because
I know
they're not people don't like child molesters. Like, you shouldn't do that to kids.
no.
Like a murderer, it's okay, don't mess with them, but a child molester, everybody picks on them.
Yeah, that's Rick's uncle used to work in the prison, and and his dad did too. I don't know. And they always knew there was a target on their back.
Yeah, immediately.
So the second they walk in. So
I guarantee you either of them didn't have a good time getting into there.
No.
Yeah.
Not fun.
Thank you for that great story. Yeah, I'm going to tell you a neighborhood story about cats.
I miss my cat so much.
I miss your cat. Is your dad going to come get your kitty cat?
I think
I miss your cat. I miss going over there. I miss going over there and getting my Leon cuddles.
You could probably go visit him.
Maybe I will. What did they live far from me?
No, they live off of Badger.
Oh, okay.
Just go pick him up. Take him.
I'm taking him for a daycare day.
Yeah, he would, because he has to get swapped out. Like, they stay in a room, and then like during nighttime they come out. Like, because Leon wants to be friends with their cat Muffin, and Muffin's like, heck no, techno. And so to avoid fighting, Brian swaps them. And so you could probably just go get him and
maybe
take him for a daycare day. Yeah, a little sleepover.
Take him out for a little field trip. I'm so sorry for all the background noise.
I don't hear any of it.
All the shaking and rattling that I have on my side.
You're good.
Would you like to hear a neighborhood story?
Yes, please.
I'm wondering I'm wondering if you're getting so much like interference with yours, so many glitches, is because you said it's windy. I wonder if maybe it's because it's windy and maybe your
The internet's
internet's a
bad.
little funky. Yeah.
That could be it.
It's snowing here, so that could be why I'm getting, because our
Yeah.
internet just started over, so ours shouldn't be too bad right now, but it's snowing. So usually when it snows, it's a little
bad.
glitchy.
Yeah. Well, so far I haven't hasn't been too bad on my end.
Okay. Yours has
So
been really bad. I've never heard yours be this like, and it
yeah,
hasn't been like bad to where like you can't understand what you're saying, but it's been trying to do it a lot.
it sucks, dude.
I interrupt you. I let you know whenever it's really
Yeah,
bad. So I
that's
just feel like
perfect.
if I interrupt you every single time, it's going to be pretty
Like
often. So
constantly. Well,
yeah,
we're almost done anyways.
it'll be okay.
Yeah.
It won't be bad. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all.
Tell me a cat story.
Let's tell you a cat story. So this one is titled, Are These Your Shoes? Stop me if you've heard this.
Stop
It
me
has
if
to
you've
make it. So my kitten is apparently a klepto. And at first we only noticed a hand towel or two showing up in our backyard. After the towels, she began bringing home plums and leaving them around our bedroom. That sounds
Plums?
messy. Yeah, plums, like the fruit.
That
But
sounds
last
awful.
week I know, and it probably gets smelly too.
Yeah.
But last week she stole someone's shoe, and thankfully I was able to find the owner and returned it. Now, this morning, after returning the stolen shoe, these two shoes show up at my back door like a well-earned prize, and my kitten is quite proud of herself. If these are your shoes, can you please let me know if I can return or so I can return them? And in the future, if your shoes or anything small outside goes missing from your porches, I apologize in advance from my resident cat burglar. So there's a second part.
Oh my gosh.
It says, update 2, are these your shoes? Okay, why is my child awake? It is not a full. Anyway, it's fine. Update 2, are these your shoes? Okay, so my cat burglar has been busy this week. I now have 3 complete pairs of shoes and 6 single shoes, 1 children's towel, and a pair of work gloves. If anyone recognizes any of these, please PM me and I will give them back to you. Again, I'm so sorry for my cat's behavior. The end.
I love that so much.
You know, I'm glad you. Okay, I'm just going to say it. I've already told Amy this story, and she's laughing just as hard the second time hearing it as she did the first time. So it must be a good one.
I love it. I love it so
Good
much.
job.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
That was perfect and amazing.
Do you want me to just do the sign off? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I want to do the Patreon one because I like it when you sing.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, everybody. So obviously this is What's with the Neighbors. We're a true crime paranormal podcast. I feel like we should start like saying that. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Yes, to
please,
find thanks and share us, please. But I'm gonna get to that. So to listen, you can find us pretty much wherever. We're like on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google. If you go on our website, you can see everywhere where you can subscribe. On iTunes, please, 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 please review us. It'd be great if you gave us 5 stars and actually wrote a review and not just gave us the stars, but we appreciate the stars as well. We have been getting a couple more reviews, so that's a good thing. Also follow and like us on all of our social medias. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok, and you can just search at wwtnpodcast. And our website is what'swiththeneighbors.com. On there you can find all this information, and also on there you can find
our Patreon website, which is patreon.com/what's with the neighbors. And for just $5 a month, you guys,
$5.
$5 a month, you can get the
The
video of an unedited
angel
episode, and you can see the bloopers, and we do fun videos. You know what? And we want to do so much more for you, but we need
Just
more
$5.
Patreon
And
donors
the
for just $5 a month.
you feel
That's
less than
all
Netflix.
you need. Yeah, it's less than that's coffee, you guys. So you know what? Just $5 a month, unedited video episode,
20 quarters.
and way more than
Is
you
that 20
get
quarters?
with
4, 8, wait,
for it's 20 quarters.
4, 8,
4
12,
times 5.
16, 20. 20 quarters. Yep, I was right. Why did I doubt myself? 500 pennies.
That's all.
That's all.
That's it.
Just 500 pennies, guys.
Yeah. Anyways, all right, go ahead.
Did you say everything? Wait,
I think
you can
so,
get
yeah.
early access, all that
Yeah.
fun stuff.
And early access. I got
If you can't wait
distracted.
till Sunday, you can watch us on Friday. You can actually watch us. So,
Yeah,
you know, you
and
can
it's
watch
unedited.
our performances. Yeah, it's unedited.
Sorry,
Amy
I got
has to do less
distracted.
work
You
on that
do
part. I need to find another sappy song
No, that sounds great. It's perfect.
because everybody knows it.
Yeah, I want. We should get the rights to it so that we could just play.
Yes. Can we do that? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys, it's gonna happen. Okay, so let's wrap this up. Feel free to slide into our DMs if you guys want to send us any stories, ask any questions, give us any comments, tell us about your day, or even if you want to give any story suggestions. If you want to hear about a cult, tell Amy. If you want to hear about some crazy possessed person or an alien, tell me, or whatever. But, you know, that's at wwtnpodcast at gmail.com. And that's it. Oh, wait, before we say it, just a reminder.
I will get you your Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Did you make that?
No, Chick-fil-A is wonderful. They give you free things all the time. And they gave this to Charlotte one time.
That's really cute. Eat
stuffed
more
animal.
chicken.
Yeah, you could go on cow day and you get stuff like this. You just have to dress like a
Aw.
cow and then you get free chicken.
That's cute. I will get you your Chick-fil-A.
Thank you. And Chick-fil-A
My
sauce.
husband almost died in the hospital, but sure, I'll get you your
I asked Josh today, I was like, do you think I could tell Amy that? And he's like, no.
I told my mom, I said this tonight. I was like, I'm going to be saying this for a while. My husband almost died, but sure. Shouldn't be joking like that. I'm sorry. I might take that out.
It's okay. You're just making light of it. I'm sure Rick would be even
Absolutely.
worse.
I say it to him. I even said it to him tonight.
Said it to him?
Well, yeah, because I was like, we still need to figure out this whole chick thing that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
And I was like, you almost died, but sure, I'm having to take care of this. And he's like, yes, we need to talk about it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's who I am. All right.
You're on the last part.
What's with the neighbors?
Have you checked in on your neighbors lately?
I did it again.
It's okay. It works. High five.
Have you checked in on the neighbors?
What's with the neighbors?
High five, buddy. I love you.
I love
Can't
you
wait
too.
to see you again.
I know. Me too. I'm tired of seeing your stupid face on stupid computer.
Yeah, the heck.
You don't have a stupid
Bye.
face. You have a beautiful face. I'm sorry.
Your face sucks. Bye.